No pain, no gain. James 1 2-12. Consider it pure joy, my brothers, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith develops perseverance. Perseverance must finish its work so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking in anything. If any of you lacks wisdom, he should ask God, who gives generously to all without finding fault, and it will be given to him. But when he asks, he must believe and not doubt, because he who doubts is like a wave of the sea, blown and tossed by the wind. That man should not think he will receive anything from the Lord. He is a double-minded man, unstable in all he does. The brother in humble circumstances ought to take pride in his high position. But the one who is rich should take pride in his low position, because he will pass away like a wild flower. For the sun rises with scorching heat and withers the plant. Its blossom falls and its beauty is destroyed. In the same way, the rich man will fade away even while he goes about his business. Blessed is the man who perseveres under trial, because when he has stood the test, he will receive the crown of life that God has promised to those who love him. Frank and direct. That is how the author of the book of James is usually described by the Bible scholars. His insights on practical living are so sharp that anyone who reads them will either be grateful or be furious at him. His case is simple. If you claim you believe in God, your life must show it. These values will help you translate your belief into something tangible and put your faith into action. One of the things highlighted in the book of James is one's response in trials. Although trials are inevitable, meaning you cannot avoid but go through it, you can view them positively. Not that you will be glad for the problems, but you will be thankful for what they will bring about in your life. Think of trials as similar to the difficult academic examinations you have to go through. A lot of them stretch your brain to the limit, but they have helped you assess how much of your lessons have you retained or learned. Problems are the same. They stretch you but will help you achieve growth in life. What you usually don't realize when faced with trials. Trials develop perseverance. Perseverance matures you. Think of a famous person you know. These persons you actually see are byproducts of years of life experiences, including hardship and difficulties, that help shape them to what they are right now. Looking at the success those persons have now, whatever hardship they may have gone through is no longer significant. What is important is that, despite the problems and challenges in life, those persons have emerged as successful. This should give you an idea that though you are facing problems at home, difficulties at school, and challenges in your personal life, they help in shaping you become a better person. No matter how difficult your situation is, you need to develop perseverance in such ordeals so that you will grow and mature as a person. In a matter of time, you will appreciate it how much you have improved because of the challenges that confronted you. Trials should lead you to ask God for wisdom. Trials will expose your limitations. In most circumstances, you will find yourself limited and unable to handle difficulties. This is the best time for you to come to God and ask for wisdom. Since He is the source of all wisdom, He can surely help you know what to do. But the Bible warns that anyone who comes to Him and asks for wisdom must believe and not doubt. The man who does so is likened to the wave of the sea that is blown and tossed by the wind. Furthermore, that man should not think he will receive anything from the Lord, for he is a double-minded man and is unstable in all he does. This means that when in the midst of problems, you must turn to God and not doubt His ability to dispense to you the wisdom you need for the moment. Trials help you stabilize your faith in God. What many do not understand when facing trials is that challenges brings us closer to God. Problems and difficulties point to our limitation, as well as they challenge us to keep our focus on the one who can really sustain us, which is God. But many people focus on their problems more than they look to God, resulting to the weakening of their faith and their inability to surpass their problems. You have that choice to use the trials to weaken you or to help you stabilize your faith as you draw nearer to God. Those who overcome trials receive God's reward. A reward is promised to anyone who overcomes. An athlete who trains hard keeps his eye on the prize, just as a farmer who sows anticipates bountiful harvest in due time. Let these examples be your motivation to continue on despite difficulties, fully confident that God will reward all your efforts with success. Gaining in pain. There is this motto, no pain, no gain. It tells that one who expects a gain should be also willing to pay the price and go through pain. But how does one really gain in pain? What should one do in order to grow in every experience of challenge and difficulty? Choose to be joyful. James instructed to consider it pure joy. This is an attitude that sees the best even in the worst situation. It is a decision that one makes even if circumstances are all too unpleasant. One who doesn't find joy in his difficulties would have to exert greater effort on facing them. But a joyful heart chooses to stay positive and count the outcome more than the pain of having to go through the challenges. Choose to trust. There will always be anxieties whenever you go face difficulties. But since you hardly have an idea on what tomorrow brings, teach yourself to trust God even if you don't fully understand. As the song puts it, God is too wise to be mistaken. God is too good to be unkind. If you don't understand, if you can't see His plan, when you can't trace His hands, trust His heart. Next, find stability in God. Everything may seem to crumble in a moment of difficulty, but not God. He remains to be a strong foundation in times of shakings and difficulties. He is the only stability we have when everything else fails. Do not make that mistake of trusting yourself more than you trust God, for only God can provide us the security we need. Stand the test. Go through the pain and see how God has strengthened you to withstand difficult tests. There is no other way to win in life but to go forward and never retreat. Before you know it, you will soon realize that your problems are over and you have overcome the test. Life can be a mountain climbing experience. Before you reach its summit, you would have to go through difficult ordeals and face a lot of challenges. It is these challenges that form your character. It is through these difficulties that you are able to grow and mature, becoming a better person. Like a true mountain climber, enjoy every step of the adventure. Learn everything you can while trekking the mountain, and never give up until you reach its pinnacle. And when you already overcome your mountain and see the things God blessed you with, you will say that every time spent in scaling